Good morning, ladies. I want to take a few minutes to discuss part 3 of the American Revolution project. I want to talk first about the instructions for the section, then tips on where to find the materials, and then give you an example of what you can do on this section, because after explaining it to a few of your classmates, I kind of realized some things are slightly unclear. So first, let's go over the directions. So you are going to create a map that depicts the following. The colonies' pre-war boundaries, which means before they went into the American Revolution, what did the colonies look like? And then the post-war boundaries after the Treaty of Paris. So after the American Revolution, the colonies gained their independence, and that also means that they gained valuable lands from the British. So your two maps need to look different. They need to have keys on them that are shaded with appropriate country names showing who gave up what land. So I should be able to compare the map, from beginning to end and say this is what happened before, this is what happened after. Now you also need to include a space to discuss the terms of the treaty. Now the terms of the treaty are the things that each country agreed upon. This can be found in your textbook on pages 224 to 226. Your textbook has a really good explanation on the Treaty of Paris, how it came about, disputes after the treaty was signed, and it also gives a very good map showing how the land was divided before the war and how the land was divided after the war. Now, just like you've done in other sections, when you explain the terms of the treaty, you also need to have an image that goes with them. So, for example, the United States was independent. You need to have some kind of image that either represents independence, represents the United States, something that just goes along with that one. And another example, the second term is its boundaries would be the Mississippi River on the west, Canada on the north, and Spanish Florida in the south. So you need to have some kind of image that represents boundaries, or maybe a small map that kind of shows, the new boundaries. Something that just depicts the term. Now, when you discuss the treaty, each image has to have a 2 to 3 sentence response about the term. You need to explain the term and how it affected the future of the United States. I want you to give me your best understanding of each term. So some of them may be relatively easy for you to do. Some of them you may need to discuss with a classmate. That's okay with me, as long as each of you, do your own writing. So I kind of put together a little example of what it should look like. I'll bring this back up in a minute. All right, so I went and found an outline map on Google of North America. So what I would suggest is that you can either do this as one map, so you would take this and blow it up to make it on one page, or you can do a side-by-side comparison. It doesn't matter to me as long as they all fit in the same designated space on your poster board. So the first one, you would have the treaties before the war. I'm allowing you to use an outline map. What I am not allowing you to do is to go on Google Treaty of Paris maps and show me the pre-war and post-war boundaries and you just print them and are done. That is not allowed. I will not count that on this section, and this section is worth 30 points for your total grade. You can do the math. If I want to accept the maps on this section, it's not going to be good. So you need to color it appropriately, have a little key off to the side saying this is what each color represents so that I know which country has what borders. And then the second map can have the borders after the treaty, and I can have a side-by-side comparison. Then, just to keep things organized, I like using charts because I think they help me visualize things better. But you can have the terms taken straight from the book over here, and then your explanation of 2 to 3 sentences can be on this side. Then all you would need to do when you're finished is cut them both out and put them on your poster board with an appropriate title for the section, and you're done. So the reason I had this up was that I have posted the outline map of North America for you. If you prefer to hand draw everything, that is up to you. You can use some of the printer paper in class, but if you wanted to use that outline map, there it is. If you have any questions, I will have my phone on me during the day since I will be gone on a field trip, and I can see email. So if you have a question, please ask. Otherwise, Miss Brownell can be asked during break or during tutorial.